in the Eastern Conference Finals. We've got Game 3 coming up. Game 1, Miami punched a tired Boston team. Looked like they were reeling a little bit coming off of a short turnaround in Game 7. Then in Game 2 for this series, Boston got a couple major pieces back in Marcus Smart and Al Horford, and then they were the ones that did the punching. I think there was a stretch throughout that game where they hit 9 of 10 three-pointers. Yeah. And Kyle mentioned this briefly yesterday. At any level of basketball, even if you're a much inferior opponent to the team you're playing, if you hit 9 of 10 threes in a stretch, it's probably going to be really tough to beat you. Like, you're going to probably have to do a bunch of things to beat yourself in that game.
Yeah, especially a team like Miami, right, who wasn't really hitting their threes or just sort of going isolation Jimmy Butler. So you're just trading twos for threes, and you're making less twos than they're making threes. You're toast. Yep. You're toast, and the results. But this series is tough, right? It's hard to get a feel on who's going to win these games. Like, man, I don't want to touch a side anymore in this series unless there's like a major injury or something like that. When you first look at it, you're like, 6.5, that's too much to be laying as a 1 seed in the conference finals. But we sort of saw that last night, right? Dallas had that wrapped up. It looked like that was an easy cover for Dallas. And Golden State comes all the way back from 19 down and not just wins, they cover. They win by near double digits. They win by 9 points. So player props for me right now is where it's at.
And what's difficult about how, Eric, we are keeping the same schedule right now, and maybe in the next few weeks we'll tweak, because we've been doing the morning shows on the weekends because we would have multiple playoff games throughout the days. Now we are not. So we're recording early in the day. Obviously, we're live right now, but we don't really know everything that's going to happen because this game is until 8:30 p.m. Eastern time tonight. It looks like Kyle Lowry is trending to play tonight.
From what I was told, Tucker is playing, and my buddy is 85% sure Lowry's going to be playing tonight, based on what my buddy who works for the Heat said.
And so it feels like, it sort of felt like after what happened in that last game was sort of like when Miami said, okay, we need a little bit more to go to battle with this team, right? It kind of felt like they were playing out there, and it's like, oh, well, wait, that's what you got? That's what we got? Uh-oh. Like, we're in a little bit of trouble here. They just need a little bit more than what they're getting right now.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke on it yesterday. They need Bam to be Bam. They need that second scorer. Kyle mentioned how everything offensively is just Jimmy Butler one-on-one. Heat basketball is ball movement, pick and roll with Bam and Tyler, Bam and Lowry, Bam and Vincent, Bam and Jimmy. They became just too eye-stroke centric. They're not getting out enough and run enough. There's some easy adjustments that I think the Heat can make in this game and make it competitive and probably straight up win.
Okay, so is that how you're attacking this game?
Well, I mean, I look at it like this. I'm all about buying low and selling high. That's one of the things I look at. Game 3 closed at Heat -1.5. Right now, the game is at Celtics -6.5. That's a 7-point swing. In my eyes, going to the Garden is not worth 7 points. I'm going to trust my source that Tucker is going to play more than likely. Lowry is going to play. If that happens, the number is going to dip down a little bit more. Celtics shot 50% from beyond the arc from 3-point range. For the season, they're only the 14th best shooting team in the NBA from beyond the arc, 35%. I expect that to trickle down. They kind of got the uptick with Horford coming back and Smart coming back. Game 1, when the ball crossed half court, they were blitzing a lot, especially in the third quarter. We're able to get some turnovers and some fast break points. I think they're going to do that more this game. They're going to look to double, look to blitz who's ever bringing the ball up once they crossed half court. And I expect Bam to be a bigger part. I expect them to use Bam in the pick and roll. I expect Bam to have a big game. So I did the Heat +6.5. I did the Heat straight up to win 225. And I did Bam over 13.5. Like I said, they need another scorer. I think that's going to be Bam. I think we're going to see him a lot more in the pick and roll, a lot more down low, taking advantage of the size issues Celtics have beyond Robert Williams. And then I also did Smart under 14.5 points. Listen, I love Smart ever since he was at Oklahoma State. But when you're coming off a 24-9-12 game in the playoffs, your best playoff game ever, I have to take your under 14.
Well, and for me, the main reason why I also went under with Smart is the threes, the shots that he hit. He hit 5 threes, so if Marcus Smart hits 4 or 5 threes again to beat us and to go over in these props, like, I'm just going to make him prove it repeatedly, because that's just not who he is. And the problem is Marcus Smart is the type of guy who, like, you like him on your team. Like, he's a very good player, but he's the type of guy who can shoot you out of games quite a bit, and I think he got a real boost from coming back in that game. I think he was really excited to sort of come in and be like an equalizer, like you were saying, be someone who comes in and makes life a little bit more difficult on Jimmy. And then he just started rolling. So I think he's going to come back to life a little bit. Also, I went a +6.5 with Miami, and I went opposite of Smart. And for me, Kyle, mainly is just the shooting. Like when I see teams and players that shoot that well, I'm just going to make them prove that they can shoot that well repeatedly. I do think Boston's the better team in this series. And I do think Boston probably wins this game, but I think you're going to get a really good effort from Miami. I really do today. And I think it's going to be a close game down to the wire. We haven't had a whole lot of them in the conference finals. So Kyle, how are some other ways you may be looking to play this one?
Well, I'm going right back to the well here with Marcus Smart assists. It's over 6.5 assists plus 100. I mean, he easily went over this number. He's done it in his last 4 games. He's done, or 4 of his last 5, the last 3 games, 5 of his last 7. He's the facilitator on this team. 12 assists. I don't think his assists go downward. You're going home now. So your tertiary shooters, your complementary players are going to be a little bit more comfortable. He could have 6-7 assists in the first half in this game, over 6.5 assists, and we're still getting plus money. So they haven't adjusted to his trend. I'm going to take it over 6.5 assists. I also did a little sprinkle on Al Horford over 9.5 points, -110.
Second game back.
Second game back. He's had 10 in his first game back. Before that little stretch there near the end of the Milwaukee series where he was struggling from the floor, he was double digits every single game. We know he's going to see heavy minutes. And in these game threes, as you get later into the series, teams become more nervous. You need those easier baskets. You start to look for ways to score closer to the basket. I like Al Horford over 9.5 points as well. And then one game parlay at plus 450 that I think is a little bit interesting. I agree with you guys. I think I like the Celtics to win this game. I don't feel great about it, but I'm leaning that way at home. I think the under 208.5 makes sense. Things are going to start to tighten up, and these are 2 good defensive teams. So if you take the Celtics to win, under 208.5, and Marcus Smart 2 or more steals, he had 3 in his first game back in the last one, you can get that at plus 450 if you want to have a little fun over there at BetMGM.
There you go. So a couple different plays, and as we said, it's sort of hard when we're hours away because we don't exactly know all of the specifics, but Eric and I are both looking to attack some of the unders on Marcus Smart. We're leaning on the Miami side with the points. What we saw last night, fellas, that's got to be a killer for Dallas.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. And I know just looking at it from, Dallas lost the first 2 to Phoenix and they came back and they won the series, but that was a game they had. I mean, they absolutely spit that game out last night, Kyle.
Yeah, those are games that kill you in a series. When you drop a game that you absolutely have in the bag, and for them to just wilt late in the stretch and Steph Curry again just to rip your soul out, that's tough. And this is not Phoenix. This is a team that's going to play much faster. They're going to force you to work a lot harder on the defensive end than Phoenix is. You're going to start to tire out. That's a frustrated team right now. We'll see how they bounce back at home. But that's got to be a tough one to swallow. It's really feeling like Golden State's going to the finals, right? That one for me, it just has that feeling where that sort of takes your guts out.
That hurt.
And
that hurt.
Look, Jason,
you got 30 from Brunson. Things were really going well. Bullock had a great game too. We were saying they got everything they needed from Bullock, and you just couldn't slow them down late. That was brutal. I think they scored 40.
It goes back to it again. So Bullock was fine, right? He made 6 threes standing in the corner, but still, is Steph Curry working on the defensive end? Just because he's getting and Jason Kidd is not adjusting to that, and then you see it happen. We've talked about it. If you're not going to make him work on the defensive end, and he's going to be able to focus on the offense, he's going to have his legs late, and he's going to make you pay. I know Bullock had a nice game and he made some threes, but it's all about wearing your opponent down.
And that's the best version of Bullock. Right? Like that's the best you're going to get from him. And even with that, because it's not enough, like you needed more from Dinwiddie last night. You know, he was the guy that we attacked. I think he had 4 points and he just wasn't getting enough. You need him to, even with that great game from Brunson, that felt like the game for them to steal game 2 and to actually make this a legitimate series to be able to go home. I think they'll go home in game 3 and play well, but that's just that's a crusher. That really, really crushes. Go ahead, Eric.
I mean, the first half, they were putting Curry in the pick and roll. They were exploiting him a lot in defense. They got rid of it in the second half. I think the bigger issue that's like, I mean, I listened to the radio for like 20 minutes a day when I was running. No one's talking about Draymond Green. He's going to cost them a game this playoff series with just like his arguing. He's eventually going to have an official that will give him that second tee. Because last night he goes, I dare you to give me that second one. Kerr's not controlling him. You look at his last 2 fouls, they're just idiotic plays. His emotions are going to definitely cause the Warriors a game that could lead to the championship in the finals. It's going to be interesting to see how Dallas responds. Dallas has to come up with something defensively. They're getting everything they wanted in the first half. Cute got too cute, went away from attacking Curry, went to attacking Lowry more. Not Lowry, excuse me. Who's their center, number
Looney.
5?
Looney.
Yeah.
Who's been playing great, man.
Yeah, yes.
They went to attacking him instead of doing what was works. Kid just got too cute. I think they're going to look at that tape, realizing get anything they want offensively when they put Curry in the pick and roll, but they have to come up with something defensively to stop the Warriors, because right now they can't stop anything at all on the defensive end.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that game. That one is scheduled for tomorrow, Sunday at 9:00 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll have a preview for that one tomorrow. Dallas right now around a 2.5 point favorite in game 3 in the Western Conference Finals. But game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals today, who's going to take that 2-1 advantage? We will find out. Will it be Boston? Will it be Miami? Eric, Kyle, myself will be here for you every day. They're NBA playoff games. We will be previewing, sharing some of our prop plays. Make sure to flip those notifications on at BTV Bets. We just want to help you become a better. Everything's free over here at BTV. Good luck today, fellas. Another one of those really good sports Saturdays. We got a lot going on. There's USFL stuff. There's NASCAR stuff for this weekend. We got the Preakness going on today. We got NBA playoffs. We got a lot of baseball rolling. I think we're even into some of the college baseball and softball, like World Series and that kind of stuff. So
UFC.
UFC today.
UFC big event. So lots going on. Hope you have a fantastic day in your wagering.